Welcome back to Weekdays on BYU-Idaho Radio. I'm your host, Jack Esplin, joined by...
Trent Hanson.
Trent. Sweet. How are you doing today, man?
Good, man.
Good.
Busy.
Sweet. Hey, that's all right. That's just how the beginning of the semester goes, you know?
Yep.
Okay, so for those of us listening that don't know you, just give us a quick introduction.
Yeah, so like I said, my name is Trent Hanson. I am, my official title, I guess, is the Student Sports Manager in our campus recreation program. So kind of help oversee our games managers and our officials, as well as our sports marketing and our competitive sport coordinators and the coaches, kind of just the whole spectrum of sports that we have here. I help oversee them, and I help train and teach and help the others to train and stuff. Because, there's me, and then there's like coordinators kind of underneath me that help out with each of their own respective areas. So,
how long have you been, I guess, in the sports, management intramural kind of department? And then how long have you had your current position? I guess, how long did it take you to work up to there?
So, let's see. I've worked for campus recreation now for almost 2.5 years, and this is my second semester in my current position. So I started just as a games manager. If you played sports, you've seen them in their red polos, keeping score and all that. And then I became a games manager coordinator. So I helped do their scheduling and their training and all that stuff, kind of overseeing them. And I did that for probably 2 years. I was only a games manager for a semester, and then I moved up to coordinator. And this is only my second semester in this current position, which was my following position. So I was a games manager coordinator for quite a while, and I just recently moved up into the sports manager as a whole. So
Sweet. So how is it having that kind of job? Is it pretty stressful for you, or is it pretty manageable? Or
not really. I mean, there's times, this past weekend actually, for you freshmen that might be listening, we had 4 orientation events. We had 4 events in 2 days, so that was a little stressful. A lot of planning went into that and a lot of hours, but really, I mean, I love sports. I have a passion for it. I'm not studying rec management or anything like that, but I have a huge passion for sports. I love it, which is why I started working this job. And so it's really not that stressful. I mean, there are difficult things that come with a leadership role in any facet of life, right? Sometimes I have to make tough decisions, or sometimes I have to break bad news to people, or be the bad guy, which is never fun, but it's also been a great learning opportunity for me as well. There's parts of it that are difficult in what I do, just because even though it is can be viewed as a measly little job on campus, I do hold a position where I have to make decisions sometimes in regard of other people. What we manage and what we do is very easy. We put on intramural sports. It's just fun. So
with this new semester, right? We're in a new semester now. There's, obviously we have intramurals every semester, but there's a new feature that has kind of been, released and is being tried out, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
What exactly is that?
So we just introduced what we call our sports pass. We've kind of, behind the scenes, we've kind of been wrestling with the idea a little bit, back and forth for the last 6 months or so. But we finally decided to pull the trigger, and we're really excited about it. So basically, if you're familiar with the program, I know I recognize you. You've played sports with us, but
yeah.
In the past, it was for our rec teams, for our normal rec league, it was $50 for a team, and the team captain usually would just be the one kind of responsible for paying that. I know a lot of the time some people would just offer to cover it. Other times the team would all Venmo, $3 or whatever, depending on the size of the team, and cover the cost. And so we actually decided to change that to now the cost to play sports is $10 per player. Or the reason we did that was kind of to take some of the burden off the captain of, for a lot of us college students, $10 is nothing, but $50 is a hefty enough fee that, as someone who worked for the department, when I would make a team and see that $50 charge, it was always just are you kidding me?
Yeah, man. $50 is
yeah.
Dang, I got to be responsible for everyone?
Yeah, which makes sense. I mean, we got to cover costs, obviously. It's at the end of the day, it's a business. But yeah, I mean, we want to make sure that we can make it as affordable as possible for everyone. So we feel like going to $10 a player is a much more spread out and reasonable way for the teams to be created. But we also decided to offer something called our Sports Pass. So for $20 a semester, any student can buy the Sports Pass, and that $20 will cover their registration fees for an unlimited amount of rec sports or our tournaments or events that they want to sign up for. So it's not quite everything we offer. The Sports Pass doesn't cover competitive sports just because there's a little bit more that goes into competitive sports. Some of our sports we actually have to, do some insurance and stuff for like the contact sports, and buying jerseys with their names on them and things like that. Buying fresh equipment every season. But outside of our competitive sports and our golf events, just because we also same thing, we got to cover green fees. Everything else is covered by the Sports Pass, which is awesome. I mean, if you think about it, if you were to play 3 rec sports and play in 2 tournaments, that would probably run you, even with our new pricing, $60 for a semester, and now you could do it all for $20 if you do the Sports Pass. So
outside of the competitive and then the golf, you said,
yeah,
you can sign up for as many as you want. Just pay the flat fee of $20.
Yeah,
and then you're like, okay, I want to do volleyball, I want to do basketball, I want to do swimming, whatever it is, all of it.
Yeah, whatever you got time for. If you can fit in your schedule, you can play it.
So you said it took about 6 months, right, to kind of bring this about. Was there like a big process in bringing it, or?
Roughly. And I mean, to be totally honest, I wasn't like super crazy involved in the final decision making of the process. One of my bosses, who also teaches the intramurals class on campus, I was also his TA for a while in that class. And every semester that class goes on a field trip to other universities. They go tour their rec facilities. The class will sit down and have basically like a Q&A with that university's, whether you want to call it like intramural director or their rec, whatever you want to call it. They all have different names at every school. But, and we went to Utah State, actually, and that's where at least I had first kind of heard about it. I don't know if my bosses previously had talked about it. There's a lot of meetings that I'm a part of, but there's obviously plenty that I'm also not a part of. They're just strictly faculty meetings. And so it was just, I came back from that field trip and I'd kind of brought it up a couple times. And I know that Brother Hanson, who was that professor of that class and also is one of our sports advisors, one of the faculty members, he was a huge fan of it. And so that was about 6-ish months ago. I don't know if it had been talked about before that or not, to be honest. Kind of just spent all summer this summer doing like inventory work in our like storage closets, and then I got an email towards the end of the summer break that was like about the Sports Pass, and I just kind of found out we were doing it, and I was excited. I'm thrilled about it. So
yeah. I think, I don't know, like I've seen messages about it and I'm excited about it. I think it'll be cool for a lot of people to do. Do you have any like update on sales so far, or like how it's been, what the response has been so far?
I actually don't have a number figure. I know there's people buying it. It's doing pretty well. We did a few giveaways last weekend during our freshman orientation stuff. So, and at that point, I know we'd already had a few people buy it, and that was technically before the semester started. But yeah, no, it's been doing fairly decent. I don't know if it's having, earth-shattering numbers, but it's early, and we still have a lot of time to register for sports. So yeah, we'll have time to advertise it, and I think it'll be a really popular thing.
Like for students that are maybe thinking about buying this pass, or maybe that haven't heard about it, like why would you say that they should buy this pass and participate in intramurals?
I mean, what a deal. $10 for a sport is cheap, but I know there's multiple people on this campus that they like to play 3-4 sports in a semester, and I mean, you just can't beat paying $20 for all of that. If you play 4 sports, it's 20 versus $40. It's tough to beat. It's tough to beat $20 for the amount of participation that you get from that. So,
and then just a quick rundown of like what intramurals will be offered this semester.
So we're offering our rec leagues and our competitive leagues and all of our tournaments. But the basic rundown: our rec leagues, when we're the first session, so we do like 5-week sessions. So the first session will be outdoor before the weather hits. We'll have flag football, softball, soccer, ultimate frisbee, grass volleyball, things like that. And then our second session will be basketball, futsal, and volleyball. And then both of those sessions as well will include pickleball. We have just, various different events that we do that kind of change every semester. And then we have our competitive leagues, which also kind of have a rotation every semester. And this is definitely our busiest one. We have 4 competitive leagues going on this semester. So we've got our competitive football league, which is full contact. We're actually the only university in the country who offers a full contact intramural football program.
Wow, that is crazy. Actually,
yeah.
Is this the first time it's been done, or it's been done before?
We've had this league since about. Don't fact check me on this, but I think about 2002 or 2003, I believe, was when it first started. So, okay. and then we're offering competitive volleyball, competitive cross country, and competitive water polo. Yeah, that's kind of the quick scope of things going on for our competitive sports.
Anything else, I guess, that you would add?
The last thing I'd say is just for people who might, not be like super into sports or maybe aren't so confident in their abilities and stuff, that might, talk yourselves out of coming out to play sports. That's another reason really why we created the sports pass. I can totally understand why someone have a hard time if, I've never played flag football. Why would I go try that? Why would I go spend money on that? Well, now you don't have to have a specific charge tied to a specific sport. You can go buy that sports pass. It's $20. And it just kind of gives you the freedom and takes away the stress of like, I got to pay for every little thing I'm going to go try. It just kind of gives you the freedom to go try different things, go meet people, go, put yourself out there. It's just a great opportunity, I think, for people to meet new people, go have some fun, and to grow as individuals. So that's why we love sports.
That. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, no, I think I'm excited for it. I think it'll be really cool. And yeah, it's really, especially when you weigh it against the $50 that captains would usually pay, I think it's good, especially for people that are wanting to try multiple things and wanting to get involved.
I agree.
Right. Okay. Well, thanks, Trent.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.